Bitch, please do not ask me what I do. Keep it big 40, but I still might slide. Smoking big 30, niggas big 40 on the block, maybe you like to. Keep on talk that shit, he might not talk no more. That boy scared of these streets, he don't walk no more. Must be dead in his sleep, how he talk to hoes. Must be scared of this beef, what you talking for? Mac on my side, if we catch bro like he gon' die. And my niggas been packing it on ride.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Lice on a case, and we doing the top 10 tips and tricks for beginners in this game. If you don't know what this game is, it's Bladers Rebirth. It's a free-to-play MMORPG on Roblox about Beyblade, and the game goes crazy, shockingly, bro. There's, you know, boss fights. You can make your own blade. There's an infinite amount of different kind of blades. You can make your own stats, fight against your own friends and stuff, like people who you don't know. There's PvP areas, but I'm not here to, you know, brag on the game, even though I love the game. I'm here to tell y'all, anybody who may be new to the game, since there's so many new people, I'm here to give y'all the tips on what you may not know that they don't really explain well, because there ain't no tutorial guide for this game, and there's so much new stuff that was added after update 5 that I felt like I should start, you know, telling the newbies how to actually play, and I feel like I have some ground to say it. I also want to say thank you guys so much for all the support, bro. You guys have been going crazy on these videos, you know, liking and subscribing, commenting down below. It means so much to me. We're almost at 500 subscribers, and I think I'm good. I'm going to do a 500 sub stream. So whenever I hit that, I'm going to turn that on and just stream. If I'm not home at the time, whenever I get home, that's when I'm going to stream. Yeah, but without further ado, let's get straight into the video, man. So for tip number 1, it's going to be make sure you do Quest Giver Gym. I understand that Quest Giver Mike might seem easier because it's hard to fight sometimes, but Quest Giver Gym is giving actual XP. Mike is making you break 25 to 50 rocks every time, and it's so inefficient. Go to Quest Giver Gym, and he's going to give you so much money. I know it's, you know, tempting sometimes to just go to the trainers, and you may not even see him. He's in the back right corner of almost every spot, but sometimes he's in a random spot. Make sure you go to him. You get a lot of money, a lot of XP, and you level up extremely fast in those beginning levels. So make sure you do all your quests in these Quest Giver Gym at every single different place. Doesn't matter. Tip number 2, you gotta buy a set. Buy a full set for your blade and just fight with that one for a while. Actually, whichever one you pick, it does not matter. You'll be able to rebuy it by the time you get up, because you get a lot of money in this game to keep trying out different things. But make sure you buy a set to fight with. It will get you through from this store. It'll get you through until the higher levels where these tips really won't matter too much. So make sure you buy a set. It doesn't really matter which set, whatever style you like more, but buy a set. It's very important. Now for tip number 3. At the start of the game, they give you free spins for spirits. And spirits, you can just go to your blade, and in the top right of it, there's a spirit column, and you get 3 free spins, and it'll give you an ability or different stat lines for your blade. And no matter what, you want to use these 3 free spins because it's big time. The difference a spirit can give your blade is important, and once you get that, you can build your blade off of that. Tip number 4 is how to efficiently use the fuse machine. The fusion machine is what helps you get your parts to higher tiers and become stronger. Each tier you go up, your part gets 20% stronger. So in order to use it efficiently and get a specific part or fragment higher tier, you want to always put 2 of the same thing and 1 of a different one. You don't have to go all 3 because it will always go for the one that has 2. So say I have 2 burst fragments like I do right here. You can put something else on there and it'll still give you a burst fragment. So what I typically do is put something else that I really like the trait of with the 2 fragments that I have. So it will definitely give me that one, and it'll give me a chance of getting a good trait on top of that. And I have a better chance of getting higher tier because I got to save one of my fragments that I liked. On to tip number 5, continue to fight lower level bosses. Even if they're lower level and you don't get that much XP, they usually have something really good. Like the very first boss, who's easy to fight, he gives out Blizzard, which is one of the best moves in the game when it's evolved. So you really want to try and continue to do those other bosses, even though it may seem like it's time consuming and it's just a waste of time. They have really good pieces and fragments that they give off. Look, Fiery Blaze, that turns into another really top tier move, and then a Revolving Strike turns into another top tier move. They always have something good, so don't think you're wasting time. Go and fight those lower level bosses. You can tier up things really fast and very easy instead of buying them from other people. Now for tip number 6, don't be afraid to get creative. This is more so for people who played prior but maybe didn't play a lot. If you have a build, you no longer have to have 3 of the same set to get maximum stat boost. So if I have two pieces in the same set, top and middle, I can now do whatever I want with the bottom or with the top, and you can mix and match it however you want and still get that 10% set bonus. even though when, like I'm showing right here, if you have 3, it's still 10% set bonus. So don't be afraid to get a little creative and put something a little different. As long as it matches stats or does something that is very viable for that build, it's worth it, and there's no negative now to having just one piece off. For tip number 7, it's something that seems pretty simple but is really hard to do when you don't think about it. So I'm just going to tell you to save anything that's very good, because you can sell it for a lot of money to people. People want things all the time. So I could sell one of these spirit rolls for a couple million, a crystal for 2-3 million. You know, I have a bunch of tier 5s that I'm never going to use. I keep them in my bag because I'm willing to trade them at any point in time. You're going to find yourself having a lot of high level stuff later that you just don't use. Save it and don't sell it to bro at the store. It's not worth it. You can get millions off of it. Now for tip number 8, it's a little grindy, but it is very important. There are really good builds in the battle tower, so you can run the battle tower as many times as you want as long as you have the money for it. And there are some amazing builds down here, some amazing pieces. You can also pick up some high level auras. There's a lot of good stuff in the battle tower. It is kind of grindy though, so I just go in between bosses and I finish like one in a day. I'll go to like level 40 something. But if you're a lower level, you're probably going to get to like level 10 to 15 and just walk out with like 3,000. Your rolls are going to be shorter, but it is worth it in the long run. For tip number 9, I would say is battle points. Do not just go buy an aura. There are some amazing builds in the PvP area where you can spend these battle points, and you don't have to just buy an aura. Over time, you're going to fight enough bosses and you'll get a couple auras to the point where you can level it up. And spending 50,000 battle points on aura when you can get an amazing build, it just doesn't seem worth it. I mean, there's so many good builds, so many different types. There's speeds, there's defense, attack builds. There's a bunch of different types of builds, special tops with new purposes. I would definitely save those battle points for getting a build and let the auras come as they come, because it's hard to get one either way. And spending 50,000, you're never going to get to tier 5 in that way anyway. For tip number 10, I want to make it clear. Expensive does not mean better, okay? You need to look at the stats of that blade and what moves are in the meta. Just because a blade is 15,000, when you look at like Phoenix Top, you can go right around this little corner and look at Blaze Top. It does basically the same thing, but has better moves, especially once it gets upgraded. So you need to check not how much it costs or how rare it is. You need to make sure you're checking stats and what those moves do, because it's very important, especially when you mix it with your own spirit. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. There's a bunch of different vending machines everywhere, and still right now the Astro middle might be the best middle in the game, and that's only 75,000 when there's 200,000 spins in the 1500 area. So just remember that just because you're paying a lot doesn't mean that it's good. Alright y'all, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope y'all enjoyed. Again, if you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It helps me out a bunch and is greatly appreciated. I hope I helped some of y'all. If I didn't though, and there's a question you need answered, please put it down in the comments, and if I do know the answer, I will respond to it, man. Thank y'all for watching. I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace out.
With the top down and we be shooting Glock rounds. Play me, you get stopped out. These niggas tryna cop out. Money, I'm always on it. These bitches is always calling. They talking, I'm never bothered.